Since I was very young, I always been around sports, especially football, and the personal project gives you an opportunity to do something that you want to do further in the future, or something that you really like. And commentating football matches is really something that I'm interested in.
So, which area of interaction did you connect your project to?
Well, the most appropriate area of interaction was community service, since I was gonna give part of the community a colorful commentary, which my target was the blind community.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I got a chance to commentate for a blind supporter. His name is David Delaney.
Well, I think this is a good project that you're doing. The more people that learn and understand about the auditory side for the blind, the better, because that way people get to understand one another as well.
Do you mind if I ask you how long have you been blind?
Now, that came on fairly quickly, about 10 years, but just under 10 years, but it wasn't quite as quick as that because it gradually went. But unfortunately there's no cure, so I've got to do this for the rest of my life. It is in a way, it is definitely, I mean, you can't explain that to anybody, but
And how did it change the way you saw football?
It changed the way I saw everything completely, because you have to rely on your hearing so much more, and of course football being visual, it made it quite a challenge.
A foul taken by the Tottenham players, and they were dispossessed in its own area in Arsenal's penalty box. Now Arsenal has a throw-in next to the halfway line after a Parker slipped when the ball was cleared from the Arsenal. Now Koscielny in Arsenal's half passes to Arteta in the center circle. Now in Tottenham's half passes to Rosicki down the middle of Arsenal. Sees Sagna down the right. He tries to whip in the ball in. Van Persie with once and with twice misses the chances, which normally he doesn't after his 20th game, 20th goal in the season. He was awarded before the game with a trophy, with the first player of the Premier League reaching the 20th landmark. And it was a really good chance by Arsenal trying to equalize. As in the first time it was blocked by the Tottenham defender, and the second try, Van Persie inside the box whips it, shoots across the opposite side of the Fred wall, and Walker comes sliding in, and he didn't touch it for some fractions.
That was excellent. Considering English is not your first language, that was very well, because it's not easy. As you got into it, because I was a little bit nervous, but as you got into it, you were beginning to do what they all have to learn, and some of the most experienced ones aren't that good. You were emphasising the different, like the free kicks, you were getting, and some of those names are difficult to get.
Yeah.
I mean, they're difficult for everybody. I mean, I can't pronounce some of them. And also, you made it exciting because you were using excitement in your voice, which also helps. It gives us a build-up of the picture of what's actually going on. And in fact, you mentioned about Van Persie and the goals and the fact that he's got awarded. That makes it also interesting. And you mentioned about the referee, which is an important bit. But for someone of your age group, I found that very interesting. I mean, I could quite happily listen to that. You know, I mean, it's better than some of the commentators I've heard on the some of them can be awful, but yes, I think on the whole you should be well pleased about that. So, yes, you know, a little bit more experience and you'll be taking over the BBC.
Thank you, David, for you coming today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, it really is, and if that helps you with your program, good luck with your future. I reckon you've probably got a future in media. You won't be surprised.
And I'll make sure you listen to my commentary then.
I will. I shall listen out for you, and I shall say, I remember when that young man first started. Yes.
Did you enjoy doing your personal project?
I really enjoyed doing my personal project. It was a really good opportunity that I had, and yes, I'm really glad that I chose to commentate football games.
Challenging though, was it a challenging process?
Yes, it was very challenging. I passed many hours. I was very stressed doing some points, but I'm very happy that I overcame.
Yeah, you got there in the end.
Yeah, I did.
So now, for the next year's grade 10s, our current grade 9s, do you have any words of wisdom that you could pass on to them about completing their personal projects?
Well, the first advice that I would give to them is start your personal project earlier. You will find probably in the last month that you have a lot to do and a lot to complete, and depending on how your project is. When I first came up with the idea, it was more or less 9 months till the deadline, which was plenty of time. But the research got me a lot of time, because as I sent the letters, I had to wait for the responses, and from there I couldn't do much. And it took me about a month to get a response back, which I hoped it to be sooner.
Right.
But yeah, if for people that are starting, I recommend them to start early. Keep it simple, because if it's too complicated, you're
creating more work for yourself.
Yeah, and you stress more as well.
Okay. And one final question. Has this changed your ideas? Would you still rather play football, or perhaps be happy to work behind the scenes and do a bit of commentating?
I will always play football because I love the sport.
Yeah.
But the personal project really helped me to see and really think about doing journalism in the future, and hopefully one day become a football commentator.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, Luca.
Thank you.